Every morning at exactly 7:42 a.m., the same man stood at the same bus stop. No one knew his name. People only noticed patterns. And this man was nothing but a pattern. He was always there before the bus arrived, never after. Always wearing the same faded brown coat, even in summer. Always holding a small paper cup of cheap coffee that steamed faintly in winter and smelled burnt in spring.
Not once. Commuters passed him every day without really seeing him. They were busy scrolling through their phones, adjusting headphones, rehearsing meetings in their heads. Some avoided eye contact instinctively, the way people do when they sense sadness they don't want to absorb. To them, he was background noise. To the city, he was invisible. But to Lena, he became a question she couldn't ignore.
Lena noticed him on a Monday. She was late, again. Her alarm hadn't gone off, her coffee maker broke, and she had spilled sugar all over the kitchen floor. By the time she ran out of her apartment, her heart was already racing with frustration. She reached the bus stop, breathless, praying the bus hadn't arrived yet. It hadn't. The man was there, standing slightly apart from the others, as if he didn't want to intrude on their space. His shoulders were slumped, his gaze fixed on the street, but not in anticipation, more like resignation. Lena glanced at him briefly, then looked away. But something about him lingered in her thoughts. Not his clothes, not his face. It was the way he stood, as if he was waiting for something that never came. On Tuesday, she noticed him again. Same time, same spot, same cup. This time, she studied him more carefully. He was older than she first thought, late 50s, maybe early 60s. His hair was gray, but neatly combed. His face lined not with bitterness, but with something softer. Weariness, maybe, or memory. His hands trembled slightly when he lifted the cup. He wasn't homeless, that much was clear. His clothes were clean, just worn. Shoes polished, but old. Someone who once cared about details. The bus arrived. People boarded. He didn't move. The doors closed. The bus left. He stayed. Lena frowned. Why come every day just to stand there? By Wednesday, curiosity replaced indifference. Lena arrived early on purpose. She stood a few feet closer this time. The man nodded politely when their eyes met. "Cold morning," he said quietly. His voice was gentle, careful. "Yes," Lena replied, surprised. "It is." They stood in silence for a moment. Then she asked, before she could stop herself, "Are you waiting for someone?" The man smiled. Not a happy smile, not a sad one, a patient one. "Yes," he said, "I am." The bus arrived. People boarded. He stayed. And before Lena could ask anything else, he turned and walked away down the street, disappearing into the crowd. She stood there long after the bus had gone. All day at work, Lena couldn't focus. She answered emails incorrectly, stared at spreadsheets without understanding them, missed an entire meeting because her mind was somewhere else, at a bus stop at 7:42 a.m., waiting. That evening, she told her sister about him over the phone. "Maybe he's just lonely," her sister said. "A lot of older people are." "Maybe," Lena replied, "but it feels like more than that." "Don't get involved," her sister warned gently. "You don't know his story." That was the problem. Lena wanted to. On Thursday morning, Lena brought an extra coffee. She felt ridiculous holding 2 cups, like she was preparing for rejection. What if he wasn't there? What if he refused? What if she embarrassed herself? He was there. Same place, same time. She took a breath and stepped closer. She said, holding out the cup. "I noticed you always have coffee. I thought you might like a fresh one." The man looked at the cup, then at her. For a long moment, he didn't speak. When he finally did, his voice was unsteady. "That's very kind of you," he said, "but she didn't have to." "I wanted to," Lena replied. He accepted the cup carefully, as if it were fragile. "Thank you," he said again. "You don't know how much this means." Something in his eyes shimmered. Lena swallowed. "I'm Lena." "Arthur," he replied. "My name is Arthur." The bus arrived. People boarded. Arthur didn't. But this time, Lena didn't either. They sat on the bench together as the bus drove away. "I used to take that bus every day," Arthur said softly, "for 32 years. "To work?" Lena asked. "To life," he replied. He chuckled quietly at his own words, then grew serious again. "My wife, Margaret, used to meet me here every morning. She worked the early shift at the hospital. I worked downtown. We'd stand right here, drink bad coffee, complain about the weather." Lena listened without interrupting. "One morning," Arthur said, "she didn't show up." Lena felt her chest tighten. She was hit by a car the night before, a drunk driver. She never woke up. Silence wrapped around them. "I kept coming," Arthur said. "I thought maybe if I came enough times, the universe would realize its mistake." Lena's eyes burned. "How long?" she whispered. Arthur smiled faintly. 8 years. Lena didn't know what to say. There was nothing she could say. So she did the only thing that felt right. She stayed. They sat together until the sun climbed higher and the street grew louder. When Lena finally stood up, late for work and not caring, Arthur looked at her with something like wonder. "You didn't have to stay," he said. "I know," she replied. And for the first time in a very long time, Arthur laughed. A real laugh. That morning, something shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a small, almost invisible change. But sometimes the smallest acts of kindness are the ones that save lives. Arthur stopped coming the next morning. Lena noticed it instantly. 7:42 a.m. The bus stop was full of people. A woman arguing on the phone, a student half asleep with a backpack slipping off his shoulder, an old man reading yesterday's newspaper, but Arthur wasn't there. The empty space beside the bench felt louder than traffic. Lena told herself it meant nothing. Maybe he was sick. Maybe it was raining too hard. Maybe, for the first time in 8 years, he had decided not to come. She boarded the bus, but the city felt wrong that day. At work, Lena stared at her screen without seeing it. Had she interfered? Had her kindness pushed him away? Had she broken something fragile by touching it? That evening, she stood at the bus stop again. 7:42 p.m. No Arthur. She went home uneasy, carrying a feeling she hadn't expected. Responsibility. Kindness, she realized, wasn't a single act. It was a thread, and once you held it, you couldn't just drop it.
Arthur returned on Saturday. Same coat, same careful steps, but something was different. He looked lighter, straighter, as if his spine had remembered how to stand tall. "I didn't want you to think I disappeared," he said, handing Lena a folded envelope. "So I wrote this." She hesitated before opening it. Inside was a letter, written in neat, deliberate handwriting.
Lena, you reminded me that waiting isn't the same as living. Yesterday, I went somewhere I haven't been in years. Thank you for sitting beside me. Arthur. Her hands trembled. Where did you go? She asked softly. Arthur looked past the street, past the city. To her grave, he said. For years, I thought staying at the bus stop was loyalty, he said. That leaving it meant forgetting her. Lena listened. But the truth is, he continued, I was afraid. Afraid that if I stopped coming, it would mean she was really gone. He swallowed hard. She wouldn't have wanted this, he said. Margaret hated stagnation. She believed kindness was movement. Lena felt tears slip down her face. You gave me permission, Arthur said. Not with words, just by being there. They began meeting every morning, not always to talk. Sometimes they sat in silence. Sometimes Arthur told stories about Margaret, how she sang terribly while cooking, how she fed stray cats behind the hospital, how she believed everyone carried invisible wounds. Other mornings, Lena shared her own fears, her loneliness in a crowded city, her quiet anxiety, her sense that life was passing faster than she could catch it. One morning, a young man approached them hesitantly. Excuse me, he said. Do you mind if I sit here? Arthur smiled. Of course not. Then another morning, a woman joined. Then a teenager. The bench became occupied, not just physically, emotionally. People began sharing things. A man who had lost his job, a woman caring for a sick mother, a student terrified of failing. No advice, no fixing, just listening. Arthur listened like someone who knew pain intimately. Lena watched him transform. He laughed more. He leaned forward when people spoke. He remembered names. One morning, a homeless man named Daniel showed up, hesitant and wary. Arthur offered him coffee without hesitation. Daniel cried. Weeks passed. The bus stop changed. People made eye contact. They greeted each other. They waited together. One day, Lena overheard someone say, "This place feels different." She smiled. Kindness had altered geography. One morning, Arthur arrived pale. I need to tell you something, he said. Lena felt dread bloom in her chest. I'm sick, Arthur continued. Heart condition. The doctors say I have limited time. Lena froze. But, Arthur added gently, for the first time in years, I'm not afraid. Tears streamed down Lena's face. You gave me back my days, he said. Whatever time I have left, it's enough. Promise me something, Arthur said. What? Lena whispered. When I stop coming, you'll keep sitting here. Lena nodded through sobs. "I promise." Arthur smiled, the kind of smile that carries peace. Sometimes kindness doesn't save a life. Sometimes it returns it. Arthur didn't come on Monday. 7:42 a.m. The bench was empty. Lena stood on the opposite side of the street, not approaching immediately, as if she were afraid of breaking something fragile. There was a strange silence in the air, not an absence of sound, but an absence of presence. She checked her phone. No message. She waited. 1 minute. 5. 10. The bus arrived. People boarded. The bench remained empty. "It doesn't mean anything," Lena whispered to herself. Arthur had been late before. Once, maybe twice. She sat down anyway. The wood was cold. She stared at the place where he always held his cup, right knee crossed over the left, hands folded carefully, like he was holding something invisible. The bus left. Arthur didn't come. On Tuesday, others noticed. "Is he sick?" someone asked. "Maybe he's on vacation," another offered weakly. No one really believed it. Daniel, the homeless man Arthur had befriended, placed a paper cup on the bench. "For him," he said quietly. No one laughed. Wednesday brought rain. Cold, relentless rain. Lena almost didn't come. What was the point? But she remembered the promise. "When I stop coming, you'll keep sitting here." So she came. She sat. She waited. And then someone approached her. A woman in a hospital uniform. Gray hair pulled into a tight bun. Eyes red. "Are you Lena?" she asked. Lena stood up slowly. "Yes." The woman swallowed. "My name is Claire," she said. "I worked with Arthur's wife, Margaret." Lena's breath caught. "He asked me to find you," Claire continued, pulling an envelope from her bag. "He passed away yesterday morning, peacefully." The world didn't shatter. It faded. Lena sat on the bench, rain soaking her coat, hands shaking as she opened the letter. "Lena, if you're reading this, then I didn't make it back. I want you to know something important. You didn't save me. You reminded me how to live. This bench used to be my grief. You turned it into a beginning. Don't mourn me here. Let this place breathe. Let it help others the way it helped me. With gratitude, Arthur." Lena pressed the letter to her chest and cried. Not loudly, not dramatically, the kind of crying that cleans something deep inside. The next morning, Lena didn't want to go. Sitting there without Arthur felt unbearable. But at 7:42 a.m., her feet carried her anyway. She sat. She waited. And then someone sat beside her. A young woman. "I heard this place helps," she said softly. Lena inhaled. "Yes," she replied. "It does." Weeks passed. The bench was never empty again. People came, people left. Stories were shared. A sign appeared one day, taped quietly to the side. "If you need a moment, sit." No names, no explanations, just an invitation. 1 year later, 7:42 a.m. Lena sat alone for a moment. She placed a paper cup beside her. "For you," she whispered. The bus arrived. People boarded. Some stayed. Lena smiled. Arthur was gone, but he was everywhere. Kindness doesn't end. It moves from one person to another, from one moment to the next. Sometimes it starts with a bench and a stranger who decides to sit.